everyone, and welcome back to the next video in this extended series of videos released in succession, providing a full read-through of every witness statement from the UK trial between Johnny Depp and NGN. A special thank you again to Les from Spiritually Empowered Coaching for providing the voiceover for all the female statements. I hope you find this series informative, and here we go.
John Christopher Depp II and News Group Newspapers, Dan Wooten. This is the statement of Tara Roberts. I, Tara Roberts of Little Halls Pond Cay, Exuma, Bahamas, will say as follows. I have worked for the claimant as his estate manager on his Bahamian Island property since December 2008. I confirm that, save where otherwise appears, the facts stated in this witness statement are within my own knowledge, and those facts are true to the best of my knowledge and belief. Where facts are not within my own knowledge, I confirm that they are true to the best of my information and belief, and source of that information is set out. I make this witness statement in support of the claimant's claim in these proceedings. I do not know the full details of the claimant's claims against the defendant in these proceedings. I confirm this witness statement was obtained through a combination of material taken from a declaration I provided in June of 2019 for use in the U.S. libel claim brought by the claimant against his ex-wife, Miss Amber Heard, which addresses many of the same facts. I am aware of the violence allegations that have been made publicly for the past few years by Johnny Depp's ex-wife, Amber Heard. My experience of Johnny and Amber's relationship. I never saw Johnny, who was an unusually kind man, be violent or aggressive with Amber or anyone else. I observed in December 2015 to my colleagues that Amber was a thrower, someone who threw projectiles. I also witnessed Amber lunge violently at Johnny, pull his hair, and commit other aggressive physical acts against him, as well as the visible aftermath of the incidents outlined in the statement. Prior to Johnny's marriage to Amber, he was outgoing, friendly, and social. It was a family environment. When we would visit the island throughout the relationship and marriage, there was a distinct change in Johnny, and the once social and animated person spent most days sleeping, became withdrawn, and our meals together dwindled to non existent. General socialization, or just moments to discuss island issues, stopped as she would randomly show up. Very rarely were we allowed to be alone with him, as she would wiggle her way into the discussions. Events of August 2014. I am aware that Amber has claimed in court documents that Johnny violently attacked Amber on the island on 17th of August 2014 and that Johnny kicked and broke a door. First, there was no door broken or damaged during that visit or any other. There was no broken anything. If there was, I would know it was part of my job on an island which I live full time. Second, Johnny, Amber, and Debbie Lloyd, a registered nurse, arrive on the island on August 8th of 2014, and Johnny left later that year. There was nothing out of the ordinary that happened during this visit, nor did I even witness a moment of discord on the tiny island. Events of December 2015. During the evening of December 29th, 2015, Johnny drove to the office alone in his John Deere Gator. He had said he just needed to get away from Amber. Shortly after, Amber showed up to the office. Amber started pleading with him to come back to the house, and at that point, I walked out of the office. A few minutes later, I heard his vehicle start and I stepped outside. Amber was standing in front of the vehicle, screaming at him and apparently not letting him get by blocking his path. Then she climbed onto the vehicle he drove her back to the house. I got in my golf cart and went to the cafe, which is a short distance from the house. I called Christy Dombrowski, Johnny's sister, as I was unsure how far this would go. While I could not hear what caused the fight, Amber repeatedly berated him with increasing ferocity. She was insulting him, calling him names, and in the middle of this onslaught, I heard her say specifically, "Your career is over, no one is going to hire you, you're washed up, fat, you will die a lonely man," and also screaming things that were incomprehensible. At some point, Johnny tried to leave again as they were now in the parking lot. He repeatedly asked for the key to the vehicle, which she had taken out, refused to give back to him, and which we found later in the house. He was responding to her verbal attacks by saying, "Go away and just leave me alone." Amber's screaming and berating rose to a fever pitch, and Johnny continued to yell, "Go away and leave me alone." I asked Christy what I should do, and she said I should keep an eye on the situation as Amber's rage continued to escalate, and I described the scene to Christy. She said that I needed to intervene and I should go to Johnny's assistance. I hung up and immediately ran to the parking lot. I saw Amber lunge at Johnny, clawing, tugging, and aggressively pulling him. He continued to stand there yelling at her to stop and leave him alone. When he stepped back to leave, her onslaught would start again. During this entire incident, I never saw Johnny hit Amber or push her back, nor did he physically react to these attacks. She would calm down and hug and apologize, and he would say he needs to leave and it would start again. Finally, I stepped between them. She continued to reach for him, but maybe my presence stopped it. I walked into the cafe and he laid on the couch, and that's when I saw that he had now a red, swelling gash on the bridge of his nose. Amber, Johnny then told me, had thrown a quart sized can of lacquer thinner into Johnny's face, causing a gash. The next morning, the bushes around their house were filled with art supplies that had been thrown, including paintbrushes, paint tubes, and the deck was stained with the thinner. There was no damage to the house, and she made no mention to me of what transpired that night before and into the morning. Amber had also removed her wedding ring and thrown it and asked for help finding it as they were leaving that afternoon. It was found and returned to her. Amber was makeup free and unmarked throughout the Christmas visit to the island, as was usually makeup free when on the island. I never saw her with any sign of injury on her face or body whatsoever. During the visit to Christmas 2015, Amber had a photographer on the island to conduct a photo shoot. We did not know this was happening, nor did Johnny's children. My recollection is that the photographer, Greg Williams, who arrived on December 27th, 2015, with his partner, took photographs the day after Amber's rampage during the departure of an uninjured Amber and Johnny, who had a visible gash on the bridge of his nose. Also present on the island during late 2015 visit was Johnny's son, daughter, and his daughter's friend. Johnny's children did witness the aftermath of the events of December 29th, as I got them that morning, explained to them what had happened, and took them to their father. When Amber would depart the island, she would always leave a considerable number of personal belongings behind. When she left the island on 31st of December 2015, she took everything she owned with her. When we did our usual post visit cleanup, I made this observation to the other employees that all Amber's belongings and toiletries were no longer in the house. Statement of truth. I believe the facts stated in this witness statement are true. I understand that proceedings for contempt of court may be brought against anyone who makes causes to be made a false statement in a document verified by a statement of truth without an honest belief in its truth. Signed, Tara Roberts, May 11th, 2020.